Blender geonodes are probably the worst programming language I've ever encountered, in that they're so astonishingly anti-intuitive. So I've got a subdiv cube here, and I want to make it into a sphere. This is the simplest thing I can think of to do with geonodes, right? So in most langs, with any sort of documentation, you could or something with a GUI, you would expect to be able to do this off of just like looking at things and intuitively, as is the case with most of Blender's features. But here, I'm looking at this, and first I need to get vertex position, which, okay, mesh, like I don't know which super category this is under. So this has, are these kinds? Are these types? What is utility? Utility could be anything. Why is math a utility? And and vector, why is vector separate from math? Wait, why is vector even different than scalar math? It doesn't make sense. So I'm assuming it's the read and write functions, or it could be an operation. I don't fucking know. These are like modifiers. I don't know why they're called operations. Maybe that means operation in the sense that Blender uses them in BPy. And I sure as fuck don't remember how BPy works, but that's a whole other rant. Okay, samples, so that's the sample that actually makes sense. That's like a sampler object in a shader context. Oh, right, it's under geometry, not mesh, because those are very, very distinctly different concepts, sarcasm. I expected read position. What the fuck is this? Okay, where's a debug node? Group output viewer. Okay, let's see what the fuck this is. Oh, I have to activate it, right? Okay, okay. Okay, that's not the worst. But there's evaluated. Okay, this is just the mesh. It's not. How do I view the viewer? I'm gonna ignore this and try something else. I don't know what attribute in this sense means. Attribute makes me think of vertex attributes. So this is clearly some foreign nomenclature that doesn't exist anywhere else, probably. Okay. I'm still just trying to figure out how to read vertex positions. What the fuck is this category? Why is there only one thing in this category? Why is hair not? I expect hair to be up here with curve because it's a type of geometry or a kind of geometry. It's a mesh, so I'm operating on a mesh. I don't want to generate a mesh. Maybe there's another one under here. So this is going to be a scalar. I doubt this works. Yeah, it just broke the link. It didn't even insert it. Oh, and now undo isn't working. Fantastic. Kind of a separate complaint. That's more of like a bug fixy sort of nitpick rather than what I'm complaining about is the fundamental design. For there to be a bug with that, that's just, typical Blender, and that's not it's not really the subject of my tribulation. I've done this before. This should be intuitive, though. All I'm trying to do is normalize this cube into a sphere. It's a really, really simple thing to do. And how long have I been? I'm 5 minutes in. I still don't know what the fuck. If you have to look up a tutorial for this, then that's just like shit design. Because it's a GUI. A GUI should not need instructions, otherwise you might as well just be using a CLI. The whole point of a GUI is to not need instructions. It presents all the available information, ideally as buttons that aren't hierarchical to the fourth degree like this is. What does utility even mean? Utility could mean absolutely anything. Well, this would be a vector of vectors, right? So maybe this won't work. Will it work? Nope. Is there other option? Oh, what? Why is there what the fuck is it? Oh, this must be if you want to make a sculpting tool. That's interesting, but not what I'm looking for. Wow. Yeah, sure. What the fuck are, okay, yeah, so that's a generator. Maybe I extract the mesh is a singular object, so maybe I use a node to demultiplex a value from the object. So if you're having to demultiplex and multiplex implicitly, that's just foobar. I'm just having to read one by one because I'm clearly missing something major. What are they? Let me see what all these are. These all the static? So I don't know why those are in separate categories. I would expect it to be under geometry. Separate components. Ooh. I feel like this is it, which means it probably won't be. The geometry object becomes a mesh object, so things are obfuscated to at least the first degree here. Okay, sure. This is doing dynamic casting. Why am I having to dynamic cast in something that should be a dynamic language? This hurts me. Now that I have a mesh, I can operate on the mesh? Is this what I'm looking for? Is this what I'm looking for? Maybe. I assume these are optional. Yeah, so the mouse over tooltip is utterly fucking useless. Points, where's the search feature? Okay, fine. How when you type math, there's no results found, even though that's the verbatim match of a type of node. Okay, sure. I don't know what that's about. Fucking useless. So value in this case does not mean value in a symbolic sense. It means, I think, a scalar float or a scalar numeric type, probably. I'm assuming. I don't fucking know. This could mean absolutely anything. It's like naming something's symbol. This must be a like a mesh operation in the modifier sense. I don't know what the fuck anything is happening. I need to continue looking through each individual otherwise I cannot possibly figure this out from just like skimming the super categories, because that's the whole point of a hierarchy, is you look at the topmost level of the hierarchy and that directs you to where you should go. But this hierarchy has like trees that are like double inverted and like leaves at the top, and it's just like, what the fuck is this? Maybe? I will need vector math, so I'll need a normalize. Is there no normalize function? That's such a fucking basic vector operation. Generally, that's done implicitly by putting them into something. Sometimes not. I don't know, but that's the behavior of if a normal is normalized, that's kind of less consequential to what I'm focused on right now. It's more like on the level of expectations of a function, and that's more like a refined thing. And what I'm looking for is very unrefined. This is just basic usability that I'm looking for right now, and I am not finding that basic usability. Wait, what? Why is there only one leaf node under each category? That's infuriating. Okay, this node by itself makes sense, but I don't really know what to do with it. That's okay. That's just not what I'm looking for. I'm gonna have to give up and Google this. Try inputting these without the input node and see what happens. Yeah, that must output indices. I can't really tell because that would clearly be strongly typed, but I have no idea what sort of type that is. Do this. I'll see if I can get the viewer node to work at all, because I have no idea how the viewer node works. Okay, yeah. Oh, is that doing a thing? Is this doing a thing? I can't tell if it's doing a thing. Okay. Try inputting in a scalar value. Why is it called a value? This should be showing up somewhere. This should be showing up somewhere, but where is it? I, viewer node. I'm giving it an input. What's happening? Oh, is it because, okay. Auto is supposed to be the reliable option. Maybe it doesn't do what you want, but auto, even if it doesn't do what you want, it's guaranteed to do something, right? That's the general expectation of auto. Nothing. There's nothing here. I don't know what? Maybe if I force visibility. No, of course not. I'm almost 20 minutes in and I don't know how to use the viewer note. And I've done this before. I've done this before and I've forgotten all of this. Or it's changed. The whole point of a visual programming language is someone who's not used it before should be able to just pick it up and use it immediately by hopping through the menus. I'm a polyglot and I don't. This feels like five different people were fighting on shoving things into the menus randomly, and there was like no cohesion or coordination between any of it. People were shoving things into the hierarchy randomly, and then no one bothers to say, like, oh, why is this a whole category? No, just PR accepted, ship it. And I still can't figure out how to read vertex position. Like, is this even capable of reading vertex position? Unless they deprecated things in favor of modifiers, which I would like that. I like modifiers. I don't know what the fuck is happening. I'm about to Google this. I'm not happy at all. Something like malbulge or like brainfuck, they are coherent within their expected paradigms. You read the manual for brainfuck. It behaves in its intended way, designed deliberately. It's a really fucked up intent, but it at least has that coherent design. And this is like the converse of that, where you have something that's supposed to be a really simple, easy to use thing, but the design is worse than learning brainfuck. Because brainfuck, it's a Turing machine. Like, you know how a Turing machine has very expected and predictable and well-defined behaviors. There's nothing well-defined about this. You're just like putting things randomly. Like, why is hair down here? Why is normals a super category? Why does it only have one entry? Doesn't make sense at 80 degree. I can't figure this out. I cannot figure out how to simply smooth a cube. This would be in GLSL, this would be a transform feedback, or you have an SSBO output equals normalize input dot position. It's basically one line of code. Now, granted, that does require prerequisite knowledge. It's prereq knowledge you can easily remember, whereas this, I've done this before, and I've done this maybe twice before, and I don't even remember the basics of how to approach this simple task. Okay, I'm giving up. It's time to Google this. Okay, right. Better not view video tutorials in the official manual. I will scream. Okay, attributes. Data stored per element. Yeah, this is what I would expect it to be. Yippee, implicit conversion on strong types where the type is auto. I love implicit conversions when the types are explicit because I always want to upcast an int16 to an int32. That's a really basic language behavior to upcast to a larger sized type, but it requires the types to be known. And in this, you have to memorize the types because circle, diamond thingies, and diamond with a hole, like, I don't know what the fuck those mean. And it seems like they're reusing each one to mean multiple different things. I don't know. Introduction. Yeah, how the fuck does the viewer work? 4.1? Yeah, I'm on 4.1 and yeah, this is not matching what I'm seeing, so I guess the manual's out of date. I don't know. I can't tell. I like how in this example, it's showing an unsupported type where the color is matching. So when the color matches, you would expect that to be a matching type, but apparently not. Oh, this is because they're shitty single core dispatcher, righto. I still don't know how to get a vertex position. Field will probably be like sampled, right? Wait, set position. What the where the fuck is this? Where this is what I want. Where is it? Am I missing like a plugin or something? I know the search isn't working. I think this only searches things that you have on the grid. Where is this? I looked all over. Where is this? I would expect set to be under right. Oh, maybe the set as an operation. I had expected like an unpack and then a repack and then an operation in the middle because that's generally how demuxing nested types works. Mesh, right, no, geometry, right, set pos. Well, that's what I was looking for. Okay, how do I get position now? It is under geometry. What the? Okay, so I guess I don't understand the purpose of the group input node. This makes no sense. This doesn't work. The basic identity. Oh. What if divide by the length is not. Okay, so once I found the node, I wasn't. Let me explain my intuition of the notion of a setter. I still don't understand what this is doing. So this is not so much supplying data as it's supplying metadata. I don't know. I have no idea what the type of this output is. You just kind of have to know how to use it. Whatever prior knowledge about programming you have is utterly fucking useless here. You just have to know what to do. I hate this. I hate this. I mean, okay, yeah, that took me 30 minutes. I fucking hate this. The reason I didn't look under set, when you're doing operations on something, you work from the input to the output. You do an order of well-defined operations because that's how humans think. Whereas in this, I had to go backwards. I had to think that I want to set position and then work back and find the inputs. Because if I just go input position, I don't know what to do with this because I don't know what its type is, and I don't know that it's a vector of position. Normal, position, radius, like where's color? Like color should be here, weight should be here, all of the various tensor types of a vertex should be in here. Like anyone who's done shaders knows that position and color are the same numeric type in most cases. I just mentally segfaulted. When I look at this, it's not the ugliest thing. This is really fucking weird. The metadata, yeah, the metadata is propagating backwards. This is a really fucky system, and it's no wonder the C++ internals of the node system are such an impenetrable disaster when I've peeked at them. In order for this to have its data to pass to the arithmetic operators, it needs to be fed this. Unless position is like a global buffer where this has offsets into a global buffer. Basically, I have no idea how the internals of this works. And a lot of intuition when you're a programmer is being able to guess how internals work. That's not just intuition as a programmer, that's intuition in general. Intuition in interfaces is when you think, how would I do this? Based on my knowledge, how would I expect this to work? And this is something I could have never fucking guessed. This is back propagating metadata just to do simple arithmetic. These are basically combinators then, and not operators. I guess that's how I would explain it. Yeah, this is weird. This is really fucking weird. And what's weirder is that material nodes don't have these issues. I like material nodes. Material nodes are great. Material nodes don't do any of these multiplexing shenanigans. I really don't understand what went wrong here. I don't understand how this became so bad when there was already the material node system that's simple and intuitive. It doesn't need instructions. You can just find things. You don't need to work backwards, literally working backwards. Well, it's not even backwards, it's a tree. So this is the worst programming language I've ever encountered.